Welcome back, traders, to my market outlook on index futures for the week of December 7th. It's been a while since you guys seen my face. Well, let me know in the comments if you like seeing my facial expression or if you prefer just seeing the logo and not having any of this distraction. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the charts. I'm going to start with ES. This is actually the micros, but micros, minis, they're kind of the same. So we'll just go with the micros this time around, and we're on the monthly chart. So looking at the monthly chart, we have a fair value gap here, but more importantly is this large wick here back in the November candle. So I went ahead and marked out 25, 50, and 75% of this candle. They could play a significant role, but I'm not going to have these in the lower time frame. So if you want to remember them, note the prices here. And then let's go ahead and jump into the weekly chart. Now on the weekly, you can see that we did have a kind of an indecisive, but ultimately closed up on the week. And if we look back, there's this big wick here. I went ahead and marked out the 25, 50, and 75% levels here as well. And if you look even further, we have a weekly volume imbalance. So these are going to be the important PD arrays that I look at. And it's interesting that the top of this volume imbalance lines up with 25% of this wick. And then 50% of the volume balance also kind of lines up with 50% of this wick. So that could be a significant part, but I think this is going to be a critical player going into this week. So let's go ahead and jump down to the daily. And on the daily, you can see that we have a fair value gap here. Last week on Monday, we went down to about halfway. We hit 50% of this fair value gap, but you can see the bodies of the candle did not close. So that was a signal to you guys that last week was going to be bullish. Tuesday, we went back into this fair value gap once again, but you can see all the bodies are staying above this fair value gap. And there's a bearish fair value gap here with 50% of it. All the bodies are staying above 50% of that one. So again, another bullish sign. And the rest of the week, we pretty much just rallied with 4 up days, taking out the buy-side liquidity above this high, but failing to get into this volume imbalance. You see there's a little bit right here where there's no bodies. So volume imbalance right here, we failed to get up to it, but I think it's going to be saved for next week because we have this high. So there's going to be some liquidity above here, and we have a little bit of internal liquidity. So if we do get above this, if we close above this volume balance, then I'm looking for new all-time highs probably next week, but we'll see how things play out. So for this week, I think what I want to see is a little bit of a pullback perhaps, but I want to see price staying mainly in the upper half of this weekly volume imbalance. I don't really want to see price close in the bottom half or even go below it, but we'll see. I think it could be acceptable, and I think I don't really want to see price go below 50% of this fair value gap. So ultimately, I think maybe we get a little bit of consolidation and then a rally up, closing above this volume balance, going for new all-time highs. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Nasdaq, and we'll go into the monthly chart as well. And this is going to be the Nasdaq micros. Okay, so same thing for ES. I'm looking at this wick on the November candle, marked out the 25, 50, and 75% levels. Could play a role in the future, but I'm not going to have it on the lower time frame. It gets a little bit messy, so note these prices if you want to remember them. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the weekly. And on the weekly, you can see this fair value gap here, but what I really want to pay attention to is this weekly volume balance and also this wick. This was a pretty long wick, and similar to ES, you can see the 25% level of this wick lines up with the high of this volume imbalance. So I think that's going to play a significant role going into this week. And then 50% of this wick is kind of close to 50%. I mean, it could play a role, but let's go down to the daily candle. We'll see whether or not, I want 50% to be reached or not. So first of all, we see a daily SIBI here. It did not reach into it, kind of like the volume imbalance you saw on ES, but with this right here, I think it's building up liquidity for this week or maybe next week, probably this week. We have, if you look from this range down to here, this is going to be internal liquidity. but this high right here is going to be external liquidity. So the buildup of a liquidity pool here, I think we're going to reach it this week. And if we close above it, then new all-time highs is in sight. So let's talk a little bit about how far lower can we expect? Well, we see price go on Monday down to 50% of this daily fair value gap. We didn't actually touch 50% of it. So that was a signal that it was bullish. Going up into this volume imbalance, and then finally closing in the upper half. A little bit of choppiness, but then Friday we did reach up above this high, taking out buy side and ultimately closing above the weekly volume imbalance. So going into this week, same thing with ES. I want price to consolidate and stay in the upper half of this weekly volume balance. You know, since we're already above 25% of that weekly wick, I think maybe it may tap it or tap the high of that volume imbalance. And then if you see a reaction, a bullish sign, maybe that is worth taking. But I want to see price consolidate and stay in the upper half of this volume balance. I don't really want to see it go lower. It could wick to 50%, but really I don't want to see it go below this volume balance. I think we already did a lot of work in here. Pretty much, I just want to see price maybe 1 day or 2 days stay here and then rally, close above this fair value gap. And then the rest of the week, I want to aim for new all-time highs. So as you can see, I'm bullish this week. And, you know, these are the signs that I'm looking for. These are the main price points. So that'll do it for this week. You know, thank you guys for sticking around. Give this video a like. If you like it, let me know in the comments if you like this style, if you prefer the old style. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more market analysis like this. And until I see you guys next time, safe trading.